I'll never do that again, promise. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy Joey Does Tech, and welcome yourselves back to a brand new video. I shouldn't look that happy that I've managed to catch sellotape on the... Yeah. If you guys remember correctly, I purchased some broken Nintendo DS Lites. There was a total of 4 of them. I'll leave the video. You'll be able to see the video of me actually obtaining them in one of these corners somewhere here. So I thought, instead of fixing one Nintendo DS Lite for your faces, why don't I try and scrub up 2 in one video and see how we get on? You may recognize this beauty of a Nintendo DS Lite. This Nintendo DS Lite here is my favorite, and it's the one that I'm actually gonna keep. Like, this is the only one that I'm ever gonna use. However, we take a look at the bottom screen. Some of you are gonna remember this. You see this mark down here? And the actual touchscreen doesn't work. So in today's video, that's the first thing I'm going to be doing, is taking a good known screen out of one of the Nintendo DS Lites that I purchased and put it in this white Nintendo DS Lite. This is the console that I'm going to be using, that is completely, you know, it's one of them, the floppy ones. Bottom screen itself seems to be working fine on this one. I don't have a stylus, but yeah, you can see it's pretty responsive from me touching it with my finger, so I'm going to be using the bottom screen from this one to hopefully make my one all good. For the next mini project on today's video, we have a pink Nintendo DS Lite. This one does not have a stylus, and it has some ugly stickers on the back and is pretty much filthy. The screen has like indentations on it, the bottom one, and the top one doesn't seem to be in that great a condition, but I'll have a better, deeper look when we look to take it apart. So that's what we've got planned for today's video. And it wouldn't be a Joey Does Tech video without the gloves. So we've got the gloves on today. The aim by the end of this video is to have 2 fully working Nintendo DS Lites. Let's see what we can do. So first things first, we're gonna remove the screws that cover up the battery. Good thing about this Nintendo DS Lite, yes, I'm kind of stripping it completely. I'm gonna be taking out the battery, but I've got a known good battery here because we know that that works if I power it on. So we know that's absolutely fine. We've obviously got We've got the buttons as well. The buttons look to be in really, really good condition. So let's remove the battery. We have this screw here, Phillips, another Phillips screw at the back. Remove the pads at the top, 2 more Phillips screws. Remove these 2 Phillips screws. Now we move over to the tri-wing head and we move a screw here, screw down in the bottom left, and a screw in the top left, and 1 more at the top. And just slide down the side, slowly twist. It's the technique that I use. And it just pries it open from the bottom. Slowly, and then you can put this down and gently lift up, and there we have it. We'll remove the shoulder buttons because they need to come out anyway. Be careful when you take these out because these can nip you because the springs bounce. Next I'm going to grab my ceramic tweezers, and what we're going to do is slowly and gently take off the 2. You've got an antenna and you've got a microphone, so we're going to remove that and this. You need to make sure that the black one is straight, because what needs to happen is it needs to slide through the card reader. So see this? See how it's getting caught? So what I need to do is slowly twist, just make sure that it's flat, and get a little bit closer. There we go. So now it slides through. So sometimes you just have to be really, really careful. Never force it because you might snap it or you might do damage to something underneath the card reader slot. So just be careful. With these 2 things unplugged, you don't need to do anything with the white one. What we're going to do is go back to our Phillips head on the screwdriver and just remove the screw that we have on the motherboard, which is here. I always keep this separate. If you use one that's too long, it's going to go through the case, which isn't great. Then what we're going to do very slowly, now that we've taken that screw out, is I'm just going to push on the screen on the other side, and you'll see how easy it comes out of the shell. And I'm just going to pull up, because you've got to be careful of this clip here. I'm just going to flip it over, alright? Now I don't actually need, in all honesty, I don't need to unclip this. Usually if we was doing anything to the top side of the DS, I'd need to unclip this, take it out, etc. But because we're not actually touching anything to do with the top side, which is back here, I can just simply unhook the screen. So I'm just going to unclip this real quick. Slowly. There we go, so that one's out. And then you also, if you flip it back over, could have done this one first I guess, but you've got one on the back as well. So you see here we've got another clip for the ribbon cable for a small. I'm pretty sure this is for the digitizer, right? Try and get my tweezers down and flip it up. And it's really easy and simple to do. It just falls out. And then you just simply pull a little bit, and there we have it. So again, I'm gonna push on the bottom. Now the screen is completely loose. So when I flip this over, I should just be able to lift up the screen. And there we go, we have our good screen. Now what I am really quickly going to do is do the exact same with this one, and I'm going to transport this screen into this black shell that I've got down here, because if I think about it, if I just had this Nintendo DS Lite and left it like this, the motherboard's all exposed and it's not that great. So even when I put it all back together, so I'm going to take the badge screen from this one and put it into this one. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, and I've just Done the exact same with the white one. I'm just opening it now and again pushing from that screen on the other side and then just lifting gently so that we go over the hooks. Unclasp this ribbon cable over here, unclasp it, there we go, it's out. And then all I need to do is simply remove this and we have the new, I say new, the good screen, which I will tidy up in a sec, and I'm just going to plug that in. So the clasp is up and then we just simply, sometimes it can be a bit of a pain. I think that's gone in fine. Again, I'm going to push the screen from the bottom because you don't want to risk tearing even that small ribbon cable, right? So I'm just slowly bringing that back over. Bottom ribbon cable back, slide that in. Use my ceramic tweezers just to make sure that it's secure. So we should have replaced the screen. Put the motherboard screw back in just to secure it in place a little bit more. Just hold it there, push it in a little bit, turn it around, and there we go. Does the touchscreen work is a question. Ceramic tweezers. Yeah, whenever I replace a screen I always do a recalibration anyway, so that's something I learned recently. So I'll just turn it off now and we'll put it back together. The best way to insert the shoulder button is to insert it vertically like that. So then you just push down and you can make sure that you get the spring inside this little area here. Push it, hold it down and then rotate the shoulder button. Just make sure that that's all down properly and there we go. So this is indeed the first little project we had for today. How are we looking? Screen's looking plush. There's a little mark here on the side, but it's all good. Turn it on. There we go, looking sweet. And the good thing is as well, I've got the black outline down here, which makes it even better. So I take the stylus out, touch screen. The touchscreen seems a little bit dodgy, but I honestly feel like that's more of a recalibration issue. So let's try that. Game is registering down to the settings. I believe it's this one. There we go, to calibrate. I've done the recalibration. I was just testing on colours there. We seem to be. Okay, look at that, lovely. All right, decent. Yeah, okay. Let's go with the dark blue because I like the dark blue. Grand Prix, 50cc. Cool, so the game works absolutely fine. I'm just gonna go on PictoChat real quick and have a quick draw. Yeah, all looks absolutely fine. Perfect, wicked. So I'm gonna go and put this Nintendo DS Lite on charge, but this looks all good to go, man. This is mine, it's my one. My one, mine. Next, what do we have? I'll tell you, let me tell you. All right, so I've had this one on charge as well. This is the first time that, because when I originally tried to turn this on, it didn't have any battery. So a good sign is that straight away after we plugged it in, we got the orange light, which just means that the battery was dead. You'll see the listing, I'll post it up here in a second, but supposedly the Nintendo DS Lite works absolutely fine, no issues whatsoever. The only thing being that the top screen and the bottom screen are a little bit scuffed. So I said at the start, I think, that the bottom screen, yeah, looks a little bit indentated. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what, it is now. Has this got, okay, so the light comes on. Okay, speakers work, which is really, really good as well. We don't have a stylus, so actually let me grab a stylus from the other DS. Okay, quick testy time to see if we're working. Should hold that up the right way. Okay, digitizer works, which I'm very, very surprised at, considering that the screen is a little bit foobar. Okay, yeah, well, it seems pretty cool. Let me just draw something real quick. Oh wow. Yeah, the screen is a little bit scuffed, but it works absolutely fine. Only issue being, I don't know if you guys can see this on screen, when I tap here, it kind of creates lines. But if I do it here, see that? That's actually pretty cool. Alright, so I think it's pretty evident what we need to do with this one, right? It's just going to be a bottom screen replacement. So exactly the same as what we've done before. Does it read the game? Because if so, that's amazing. Because then it is simply just, yeah, well, it looks to read it. Does it play it with no issues? I can't see any faults with the top screen at all. A little bit dirty, but it looks fine. It's like not hard viewing or anything like that. So the only thing that we really need to do with this, by the looks of it, is replace the bottom screen and give it a good clean. We don't have a stylus for it, so she'll be good as new. This is another blue Nintendo DS Lite that I got, again, in that video where I bought some Nintendo DS Lites. Floppy case at the top, and if we turn it on, which I have done already, I have tested it, it's in charge. Both top screen and bottom screen work with no issues. I'm not going to show you the process again because I've just done it, but I'm going to take out the bottom screen of this Nintendo DS Lite and put it in the pink one, and then we'll be good to go. Let's say 20 minutes, all right? Let's just, for the sake of it, say 20 minutes. Let's just make sure that it... Oh no. Oh no. See this? Error. Fatal error. Fine, that works. Good, good. Touchscreen still works. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is slight flickering. I don't know if that's potentially like a screen issue itself, or I have no idea, to be honest. And we can also see, I don't know, if I turn this on, we'll say 25 minutes, by the way. If it wasn't for that mess up at the end, we'd be all right. So the screen's a little bit out of place, and I think that is solely down to because I've put this back on and I've put it back on a little bit skew whiff, you see. So we're going to PictoChat. Touchscreen works absolutely fine. Let's test again. That screen flickering is literally only in the starting menu. There's no screen flickering now at all. So I feel like it was just with like white colours or something. How weird. I will be getting rid of this one, and when I put this one up for listing on eBay, I'll be saying, look, it flickers a little bit when it's in the menu. It doesn't have a stylus, etc. I'm going to give this a real quick clean, just see if we can get it looking a-okay. And it took us about 25 minutes, by the way. If I didn't mess up at the end, it would have been a nice 20-minute job. But if you guys think that you can, I don't want to say beat because I don't want you to rush, but just time yourself and let me know how long it takes you on average to replace the bottom LCD screen on a Nintendo DS Lite. Take the picture, post it in my Discord. Feel free to join my Discord. The link is in the description below. Everyone's favourite part, I think, including mine, to make this a little bit more presentable. Boom! Just like that, we are now done. We have a lovely pink Nintendo DS Lite, which is cleaner than what it was before, which is really, really nice. The bottom screen didn't work. We've now converted that, and it now works. And then the other thing that we've done was place the bottom screen on this bad boy. So now this is mine, I'm keeping this one. This one works absolutely fine, no issues whatsoever. I'm really, really happy with it. And I think this one looks the best, man. Look at it, it's gorgeous. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to do 2 DS repairs rather than just the one, kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm not saying that 25 minutes is the time to beat necessarily, but it'll be interesting to see how everyone else fares. If you did enjoy this video, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate every single one of you who does. Also, we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from myself, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Don't know what that was.